Hello student, welcome to my class of computer science for 11th class. Today the content are as follow. First one thing, nested if else in Python. Second one, flowchart of nesting in if else. Third one, example of nesting in if else. Fourth one, greatest number among the program, okay, 3 numbers program. And fifth one point, the question and homework section. So let's begin. So student, the nested if else in Python, actually in programming language, if any structure or statement exists inside another structure of same type, termed as nesting. Okay student, so suppose that if I have created if structure, I am to say if block, if another if exists inside that if structure or the block is termed as nesting. So in the term of if and else, here you can see the syntax. Here is if block is mentioned here, okay, and else block is also mentioned here. Inside if, another if is also existence, okay, this is termed as nesting. If it is in categorized under the if, so it termed as nesting if. If it is categorized in different structure, so according to that it will consider as a nesting according to that structure. So student, you can see that this particular if condition, I am to say this block is considered as outer block of if, and this if condition, its intent starts from slightly bigger gap from the programming edge, okay, this is inner block of if, and this else, this is a part of inner if condition only, okay, inner if block only, and this else part of outer if block also. So now we can consider, student, the some program may have the code block under if clauses, okay, and it can be have subsequent conditional blocks. In such case, Python allow the nesting of if else also and elif also inside another conditional clause. So here most important thing, student, Python doesn't limit the level of nesting, okay, condition in a program. So here the example, you can see that one level of nesting is given here. Now in second slide we can understand how many level can be possible. So here there may be multi-level nesting if else part also. So here you can see, student, if, elif and else, this is only outer block of the it particular if condition statement, okay. And if you are going to the internal structure of that one thing, so you can see that this if existence inside this particular if block. So this if is child block, I am to say sub block of this particular if condition if it is true, and this one else part is also part of this particular if, okay. And here we can consider the another one condition. Suppose that this condition is false, so that is particular control of the program will pass to the elif, and this elif check the condition. If this particular condition is true, then it will pass the particular control of program to this particular elif block, okay. So here in elif block I have used only if condition, okay. So you can see that only if I have used except else, okay. I do not use else part, because if it's individual, I mean to say separately we can write, okay, without using else. Here the else part, which is another part of the outer block of if it is true, that means to say there is no condition. If these two are false, then control will go to the this particular else part. And here if you are going to just check that if this particular else part is true, then control will pass to the this particular if condition. This if condition may also contain another if inside the its indentation or block. So that shows there is multi-level nesting of if, elif and else statement. So here you can see, student, a flow chart of nesting of if else. Suppose that we have start the program, okay, and here is x, y and z initiated by some value like 10, 20 and 30, okay, and this diamond it shows that comparison. So that's why we can use this if inside this diamond, okay, as you have learned in a flowchart chapter. So this will show you comparison or decision making. Suppose that if double equals to 10, it means to say it is going to compare whether is f, that is x, is 10 or not. If it is true, that means to say yes, okay, this pass the control to this particular comparison. This is nested of condition, okay. If it is not, so elif condition. So now we are talking about according to this one thing. So yes, according to this our test condition is true, so that means to say control will pass to this particular comparison. Here if y equals to 20, that is double equals to 20, so there are also two conditions going to be arise, that is yes or no. So if it is true, that means to say yes, because as per according to the given value is 20 of y. So here this particular control goes to the this particular print box. Okay, so here we know y equals to 20, so it is true. So nested block of particular if condition, and it will say end of nesting of if block. Okay, and at last it will transfer the control to the stop. Next one thing we are going to understand through the example also. So here same program as I given here is nested table. I am saying nesting of flowchart. So here shown here. So here x equals to 10, y equals to 20, and z equals to 30. Okay, so program begins from here, from as a start as a print in a console, and then after that if f double equals to 10. Okay, if here is x double equals to 10, we know x equals to 10, so it will be true, and it will print nested if. Okay, and then after that this particular control will go to the if comparison again. So here it will check y also, because we are checking the y after the checking x. Okay, so here y equals to double equals to 20. If it is true, it will print end of the nesting of block, otherwise it will show end of the nesting if else block. Okay student, so here suppose that okay this condition if true, so rest of the code will not execute, because first condition is going to true, so there is no chance to pass the particular code to the elif. Okay, when this among this particular two statement, one of the statement will execute or incount, so whole code of the control will pass to the jump to the stop. Okay student, so we can do it practically. So first I will have to start the Python ideally by typing Python in your screen, and then go to the new file. Suppose that here is a equals to 10, here is suppose that we are taking x equals to 10 and y equals to 20 and z equals to 30. Okay, so now I am going to compare the value. Suppose that if x is double equals to 10. Okay, and now I am going to just print a message here, simple nested if start or nested if. Okay student, now as you will hit enter, the programming edge gap will be shown here, that is known as intent. So intent is required to understand or differentiate the different coding block according to nesting also. So in here we are going to compare it by putting if again. I am going to now check y equals to double equals to 20. Okay, and then I am going to just print. You can see as I hit the enter, you can see if I press the colon and hitting the enter, so now you can see that programming edge is also increased. That means to say intent is going to be next level according to the nesting. So here print nested what thing, I can write here nested if x basis, nested if y basis. Okay, or we can say that else part print nested if else of y. Okay student, now I am going to hit enter, so I have to press 2 times backspace to come to the this particular one if intent. So I will type here elif. If I'll type here if suppose that x double equals to what thing 100. Okay, then I will do one thing, if print nested what thing elif of x, and then here again if y double equals to suppose that same thing 20, and print nested if elif if for y or of y. Okay, or else part, I'll simply type the same thing but in the term of elif, nested elif else of y. Okay student, at last I will come to here and type else part, and then simply I will print here else without nesting. Okay, so suppose that if I am going to compare it and providing nesting, okay, now you can see that nesting of if of x and y will print. Why? Because here is x equals to 10, so this condition will true first and it will print nesting of if of x. Okay, you can see here, and then after that it will check y double equals to 20, so it will print nested if for of y also. You can see, suppose that if I'm going to make it incorrect like this 200, that means to say false, what will happen? Compile it. So now you can see nested out of if it will be print here, and at last, okay, the next line will print nesting of if else of y, not the above one, as you can see the answer. Okay, now suppose that if I'm going to print give the 100 as this one thing, okay, so this condition will false. Next comparison goes to elif part, okay, and it will true, this will print. So I'm going to run it, and now you can see nested of elif of x, that means to say this will print, this will not print because it is false. Okay, and next one line, this is nested elif of y, so here nested of elif of y, because x y equals to 20, so it will print. And suppose that if I given the x equals to 1000, so that time no nesting will be print, so else without nesting. So student, I hope you have learned this one thing, so make sure note down this code and show me also in WhatsApp. Okay, so now we are going to understand the find the greatest number among three programs, say three numbers. Okay, so suppose that here is a program, so you can initialize the variable value by console also, I am to say dynamically also by using input function. Okay, so here you can consider a equals to 10, b equals to 20, c equals to 30, initialization part as comment, and then logic begin from here. First of all, I will compare this a to b first, and then after that c. Okay, so this question based also first if it is true or false, so I'm going to check whether the a is bigger than b. Okay, if it is a bigger than b, so it will check again a is bigger than c also. If it is true, then it will say a is bigger value among the three values. Okay, otherwise definitely if it is false, so c will be definitely bigger value. Okay, or we can say that this condition is false, that means to say a is not bigger than b. So what we have to do, we have to pass the control to the elif part of this particular code. So in elif part of the particular code, it will check b to c, because we do not need to check further, so we are going to just check is b is bigger than c. So if it is true, then it will say yes, b is bigger. Okay, if it is false, so control will goes to automatically else part, which check nothing because there is no condition in else part, so it will say c is bigger value. So student, we have to do it programmatically. So what I am going to do, I am going to open a file. So here you can see student, I have done the same thing. Suppose that here are two values, that is 20 and 30. So here you can see a equals to 10, b equals to 20, and c equals to 30. So let's see what will the output. So here you will say c is bigger value. If I'll make the a is bigger value, here is a equals to 100. So if I'm going to run it, so you can see that a is bigger value. If I'm going to make b is bigger value, so now you can see I have taken the b is bigger value, that is 20. So now I'm going to run it. So here is b is bigger, if I am going to make C is bigger value, suppose that C equals to 300, okay, according to the case study, okay. So you can see that a last element, that is meant to say answer has come here, C is bigger value. So student, we can do one thing also, we can create the dynamic variable also. It meant to say we are going to insert input value, okay. So a equals to integer, we can say that raw input, because I am using Python 2.7, so please enter a value for what thing, a variable, okay. Same thing I will type. And second, b equals to int, inside that raw input, within that I will type please enter a value for b, okay. We can type in small and capital also, but it would be meaningful. Here is int raw input, please enter a value for C, okay. So before student we are going to run this program, I would like to add the comment also, which make the purpose, I mean to say which shows the purpose of my program, okay. Finding bigger value among the three numbers. Using nesting of if and else, okay student. So here I am going to just run it, and now you can just see the output. It will ask you first the value of v, suppose that our value is 900, b is 200, c is again 98. So here it will say the a is bigger value. Again in case history 2, we are going to make the bigger value is b. Suppose the 200, 400, suppose that here it will be 350, okay. So now you can see that b is bigger value. Again if I am going to run it, suppose that 120, 320, 900, so now you can see that c is bigger value. So I hope you have learned this particular program, okay. Now we are going to learn the program, understand the next one thing. The next one thing is homework and practical assignment, student. So first of all you have to make the notes of the day, and the second one question, write a program to compare 5 number to check which one is bigger among them, okay, using nesting. Or third one thing, write a program to check the marriage eligibility of the person. So here the rule should be, if the person is male, eligibility criteria should be more than 21 years. If the person is female, the eligibility criteria should be more than 18 years, okay. After creating this particular program, you have to send me the screenshot in my WhatsApp number. Till then, thank you and have a nice day.